Howdy from Arlington, Texas, y'all. Hope this video finds you well. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It is the month of May, and thankfully this year we're back to some normalcy, which means it's the month of May, which means it's Indianapolis 500 month, and this is Open Wheel Wednesday. So, as I've talked about in the past, as I get back and get older, you have to collect different things because there aren't a lot of indie cards out there. The bulk of them that are out there are from the junk wax era, and that's why one reason I maintain we're not in another junk wax era, not until IndyCar starts putting out cards again. But yeah, there was a little bit of product in the early to mid 80s, and then in that 91 to like 95 range, the bulk of IndyCar related cards were released. And one of those sets was made by High Tech and was an Indianapolis 500 set. I showed off some packs of those a few weeks ago. I had got some loose packs, and I'd also got some boxes. Opened up the loose packs, have almost a complete set, so I'm not sure how I'm going to finish that set off, if it's worth opening another box. It's really not. I'd like to keep those things sealed. But I took a look at Trading Card Database that night, realized there was a prototype set, so I was like, okay, well, I got to get those 6 prototype cards to go along with the set. Was able to find a seller on eBay that had multiple sets available for sale, but I just bought one. So, and this is what the cards from the set look like. There's 3 different types of cards. There's just these kind of generic driver cards, like action, I guess is what I would kind of call them. And then there is a second set that is kind of a portrait of some sort, and they all have this indie looking background. Very, it's not really showing up there, but that's like a super neon pink. Very 90s, very early 90s there. And then there are these kind of random, like I think some of them are rules and regulations, things like that. I'm not even sure kind of what to call that. But yeah, this one, as you can see, says Indy 500 regulations. Just a lot of random things like track information, stuff like that. And then there's one insert set that I didn't know was in there, and I pulled one. But in the prototype set, there are 3 of those. These were seeded. I talked with someone on Trading Card Database who's basically the biggest racing collector, and he's a big fan of High Tech. He said to his knowledge they were about 2 per box. They're not super easy to find, and he said it's not because they're rare. It's just because not a lot of product was open and not a lot of it's out there. So here is one. This is Bobby Rahal, who's a car owner now in the IndyCar series, and his son Graham is his driver, or one of his drivers. So very cool looking, very early 90s technology there. Here we have Eddie Cheever, who won the 500 once, I believe. That was after he came over he had raced in Formula One for a few years. There's the design on the front of that one. I definitely like the first one the best. These kind of have maybe like I don't know if you'd call that like fireworks, stars, random shapes. But anyway. And then the last one is Al Unser, who won 4 times and is tied for the most Indy 500 wins with 4. And this one's not, I kind of like this one better than the second one, but not as much as the first one. So anyway, pick those up just to kind of go along with my set. I do like the early, I think these are 90, say on the back here, 93, so still early 90s technology. So the next closest thing to cards that I've picked up recently was from a Sports Illustrated worked with USAC, which was the sanctioning body of the Indianapolis 500. And in I think every other year, I think there was a 78 set, 80, 82, 84, and 86 was the last one. So these are not quite trading card size. So if we take this bad boy, you'll see they're just slightly larger, but they're not going to fit in pages. So I'm using the 4 pocket pages. But they are kind of like trading cards in that they do have like information on the back, but it's a game, so it's not like they're statistics, but it's a dice game. And I said 70, I guess I said 78, 80, 82, 84, 86. If you look at the copyright date, it's 79. This is the 1978 set. It's the drivers, the 33 cards are the 33 drivers from the 1978 Indianapolis 500, and then the game was released in 1979. So no card numbers or anything like that, no statistics to speak of, but they're, like I said, game cards. So this is the front page for me that I put Jimmy McElreath from Arlington, Texas. He passed away, I want to say within the last, I think about 3 years ago. He passed away during the month of May, because I remember hearing about it on Donald Davidson's Talk of Gasoline Alley. But he was a lifelong Arlington resident, good friends with Johnny Rutherford, Lone Star JR, as they called him. He's from Fort Worth. But yeah, Jimmy McElreath passed away, I want to say, it's either 3 or 4 years ago. But that's why he's on my front page. These guys are local for me, some local legends. A lot of these have blue mark on the bottom, some kind of pin mark. It is what it is. These card games are not easy to find. So in this case, it just kind of took what I could get. You got Mario Andretti and AJ Foyt, which if you know anything about racing, I know you probably know those two names. Rutherford also won the 500, I want to say 3 times. Is he one of the 4-time winners? I can't remember. Jimmy McElreath did not ever win the Indianapolis 500. Mario Andretti did win it once in 1969, and A.J. Foyt won 4 times. So these are the other drivers from the 1978 race. Al Unser, Larry Dixon, Salt Walther, John Mailer, Tom Bigelow, Johnny Parsons, Roger McCluskey and George Snyder, Wally Dallenbach, Steve Krisiloff, Sheldon Kinzer, Dick Simon, Gordon Johncock, Tom Sneva. I love the Goodyear hats, the kind of generic look. Jerry Sneva, Pancho Carter, Mike Mosley, Rick Mears won 4 times, 3 or 4. You'd think I would know this, but, it's either a brain fart or I'm just, having a little bit of stage fright. Larry Rice, Gary Bettenhausen, Joe Saldana, and Jerry Carl. Those are actually 2 that I don't know that I've heard their names before. Same with Phil Threshy. Spike Gelhausen, I know. Janet Guthrie, I know. Janet Guthrie is the first woman to drive in the Indianapolis 500. Danny on Gaius. And the last card that I had in there by coincidence, good old Uncle Bobby Unser, rest peacefully. I'm recording this on Monday. I'm going to upload it to go out Wednesday. So earlier today we found out that Bobby Unser did pass away today at 87 years old. One of the best to ever drive at Indianapolis, just one of the best open wheel drivers ever in general. 3-time Indianapolis 500 winner, 1968, 1975, 1981. He's one of 10 drivers to won 3 races. That seems awfully high, and then he's one of only 2 to have won in 3 different decades, winning in 68, 75, 81. He was the USAC national champion, which is the series champion, in 1968 and 74, and he was also the IROC champion in 1975. So he was a long-time announcer afterwards. Very brash, very opinionated. He was well-loved, but he was also disliked by a lot. But, I love the brash, mouthy guys that say what they think and are not all buttoned up and politically correct. So you're definitely going to be missed, Bobby. Rest peacefully, sir. That was one thing I wanted to show off. The next, these are, again, I've talked about having to think outside the box when it comes to old Indianapolis 500 stuff, historical. So these, if you can tell, this is the Ultra Pro one pocket page. So these are 6x9 postcards. Just one here. This is Lloyd Ruby, who's also from Texas, Wichita Falls, Texas. I've mentioned him before in some other videos, but I would say he's no longer considered the best driver to never win the Indianapolis 500. I believe that probably belongs to Michael Andretti now. But at the time of his retirement, he was just had so many good runs and just had so much bad luck. Mario Andretti-ish bad luck, or Dale Earnhardt in the Daytona 500 bad luck. But like I said, these are 6x9 oversized postcards. There is a regular size card for comparison's sake. I got all these off one seller who was offering them at a great price. They've got, white corners and things like that. I think at least one of them is written on, but that's Lloyd Ruby from 1968 at Indianapolis. And then a second copy of the same postcard. Honestly, I don't remember who this is. Johnny Boyd. So that one, okay, so this one's not written on, but as you can see up there, it was stamped by Lynn Schroeder of Indianapolis, Indiana. That's Johnny Boyd from 1965. And I believe this one has a little bit of handwriting on the back. Oh, no, I'm wrong. It was just maybe some of my smaller postcards have writing, but that is Arnie Knepper. That one does not have dating on it, so I'm not 100% sure. Everything else looks to be about the same. So I would say it's probably 1965 as well. Oh, I just noticed that Boyd 65, Ruby are 68, so it's probably a completely different year that they just didn't put. So we've had regular trading cards, we've had cards from a game, we've had jumbo 6x9 inch postcards, and now maybe the most unique of all. These are Matchbook Covers. I had seen these and I talked to my friend Mike. I've mentioned him in videos before. He likely has the best, and when I say best, I'm referring to number of drivers, autographs that have run in the Indianapolis 500. I don't remember the numbers, but I know he's over 700 different drivers that he has. But we chat a lot off and on Twitter. On Twitter through direct message. And he knew that I had found these, and I had asked him some questions. He doesn't really do a lot of cards, memorabilia, those kind of things. He pretty much is just focused on autographs, and as many as he has, and the ones he needs left are going to be quite pricey if and when they come around. So that's where he allocates his funds. We all have limits. We can only collect so much. But he had purchased a collection, and these were a part of it. And he got in touch with me and said, "Hey, I got these as part of a collection. Are you interested?" I said, "Yes." We made it happen. So what I like about these, and there are a few of these on ComC that are, I want to say, between $25 and maybe $40. And then I think I've seen 3 or 4 on eBay that are like $16. Well, I did not pay that much for these individually. So it's going to be really hard for me to pull the trigger on those, but they're not exactly easy to find. So you got Jim Rathman, the 1956 winner of the 500. Johnny Thompson. Oh, it doesn't say winner, I'm sorry. It's just 1956. 1955 Indianapolis 500. Roger Ward, who won the Indianapolis 500 3 times. Lee Wallard, 1951 winner. So I don't know a lot about these. I don't know what years these are. Mike's going to reach out to some people that he knows that maybe we can chat and I can find out a little bit more about these. Jimmy Davies from the 1955 500. Pat Flaherty, 1956 winner. Andy Linden, 1955. Dick Rathman, 1956. Yeah, so like this, whoever had originally sold this said these were all 56, but I'm confused because we have 1955 dating and 1965 dating. He had this Series 1, 12 different, and I can't figure out what's supposed to be what. Or wait, now that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so I'm guessing these are supposed to be from 1955. So Tim Flock did not race in the Indianapolis 500, but Champion Spark Plugs obviously was associated with NASCAR as well. So there is the Daytona Beach. He was the Daytona Beach champion in 1955. I don't know when the last Daytona Beach race was off the top of my head, but I do know that it wouldn't have been 1955 because Paul Goldsmith won the final race. So Jack McGrath, Indianapolis 500, 1955. 1955, Pat O'Connor. Johnny Parsons. Didn't they have a Johnny Parsons? So were they different? Oh, no, we had Johnny Thompson. Okay. Fred Agabasian, 1955. Dwayne Carter, 1955. Ray Crawford and Enrique Iglesias, winners of the 1954 Mexican Road Race. I don't know that I paid enough attention. I need to look into that. That's fascinating. I don't know anything of that race. I don't know if that was NASCAR or something different or what. So Phil Walters, I don't think that doesn't have anything on it. That might be like a Formula One or something. I don't know because it's a Jaguar, which is not anything that's been in Indianapolis. Keith Andrews, 1955 500. Art Cross, 1955 500. Lee Petty, if you don't know who that is, you can see he's the 1954 National Stock Car Champion, which was NASCAR. That is Richard Petty's dad, Kyle Petty's grandpa, and Adam Petty's great-grandpa. One of the first true legends of NASCAR. Jimmy Reese, Jack Rutherford and his Ferrari. So again, I'll need to look into that. And then Bob Swikert from the 1955 500, and he was the winner. So I can't find a checklist of these to know like what's out there. This is one of those things I think that could become a lifetime project for me, trying to figure out how many of these are out there. What a generic checklist of the drivers. But then, what is interesting on top of that, you may not have noticed, these were matchbook covers, so they were handed out in matchbook form by, obviously, service stations that sold Champion spark plugs. So if you look right here, we got McGuire's Garage in Duncannon, PA. Here, we got Ronnie's Esso Service Center, which was what Exxon was before it was Exxon, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So these bottom row, these are all Ronnie's Service Center. So how many different variations of, say, you wanted to collect with a particular driver on here? Just go with, who do I want to say? I know you don't care. We'll use Roger Ward because he's a 3-time Indianapolis 500 winner. Well, this one is from, I gotta find him again, McGuire's Garage. All these appear to be from McGuire's Garage. But how many service stations across the country may have had these? So Ronnie's Esso. So it looks like they're all from the same too. But the ones I've seen online that are available are from different ones. So it is hard to say how many of those might be out there. So, this could be my thing. Everybody, there's a lot of information on like T206 cards that's been done over the years, but other sets not so much. Maybe this will become my thing as I can find more and more of these, and I do want to pick up, some of those other ones that are available over time. So that is Open Wheel Wednesday. We had a few cards, but then we had a lot of oddball type stuff. I want to thank you all for watching and hanging all the way till the end. And I will be back tomorrow, and we will have a Throwback Thursday video. So I will see you then. Happy collecting, y'all.